Okay, welcome everybody to our May 2024 cohort graduating here in 2025, February. And what we're doing now is everybody's going to get a chance to present their capstone coffee shop. Let me quick screen share. And so we got our presenters. We have Raquel, Trincel, Jennifer, Laquanda, and Ace here. And they're going to present their project that they've been working on. And I just want to quick intro this, if you can see this. We had a couple requirements. It's a coffee shop. That was the first requirement. And it had to have a, I think I switched these. This should be this should be back end and front end. But luckily we can. Back end, front end. We can edit that out later. We got our back end. The requirement was a back end in Express, protected routes with JWT, and you remember that was a lot. That was a whole big thing. And routes for the resources of product and user. A lot went into that. And the front end, the beautiful, beautiful front end, was a front end with React and Next.js, a home page with a list of products that is getting those products from the back end, the login page, which was a big deal too, shopping cart, and the admin page to manage the products. And the rest you will see is left to their imagination and creativity. Some people did add different sorts of things to their project as well. So without talking anymore, I'm going to hand it off to our first presenter. That would be Raquel.
Also, hello. I don't
Hey
know if you
there.
guys remember me. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. I think I did a presentation for you guys a few months ago, maybe like 6. Sorry, I'm like 5 minutes late.
Hi,
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
Ah, dude, no problem.
Yeah, and definitely appreciate you. And if you can ask a question. You missed the homework for all the audience members. The homework was to ask a question after each. That would be really, really, really meaningful for us. So,
Ah, you don't want to know what my questions would be. I'll tell you about the part. I'm on
you
a
better
whole other
watch
level,
out.
my dudes.
Better watch out. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for the rest of our guests for joining here. Okay, so I'm gonna hand it off to Raquel.
All right, hello everyone. So I guess I should start with sharing my page. I'll be starting with a slideshow. And the trick is moving all these Zoom little widgets. All right, view full screen. All right, so this is my capstone project for cohort number 4. And about me, I'm a first-time student, which we all are, at the CodeX Academy, studying full stack web development, pursuing what we're all pursuing, a certification, which will enable us all to broaden our career opportunities and get out of whatever situations we're trying to get out of with work. My background is in multimedia art, graphic design, photography, web design, mainly like just front end, HTML, video editing, like with Final Cut Pro. My goal is to integrate my diverse skills and creativity into web programming. And So my project, my app name is Coffee, Tea, and Read. Let me move this little widget, kind of gets in the way. So about my project, which is, I have my little about form right here. Instead of having another page, I just put it right on the splash page. So Coffee, Tea, and Read is an app for coffee, tea, and book lovers alike, with the option to purchase a snack or a book. You sign up and log in for access with an opportunity to sell your own merchandise if you have admin authorization, and you can create your own products and feature them and sell them. So that's just the groundwork on it. The products range from teas from France, organic fair trade coffee beans from Mexico, to chocolate covered espresso beans, books about coffee, tea, and more. So yes. So my coffee app is a full stack application that includes a variety of components and features that creates a user-friendly experience for users that serves as an e-commerce coffee shop that is fun and easy to navigate. My wireframe, let me move this. So it was, I think it's more like 9 pages, but so I have a splash page, a sign up page, then the login, which takes you to the product page, create product page if you have admin status, delete product page, which is also for admins, and then your cart page, it takes you to your shopping cart, and your checkout page, which can be accessed by all users. And so how it works, so I will demo it following the slideshow. So this just shows you a little screenshot of my shopping cart and how you go to the checkout page. And then so the proofs of life and how I tested it out. So saving data to the local storage, which is an example right here. And also for the backend data storage and being able to update it, enter it, and delete it was through Postman, which is an example in the middle screenshot right here. And then for the last screenshot, this is for the adding of, this is a screenshot of the adding. I don't know if you can see it, it's pretty small, but the adding of products. And it shows them saved into the local storage. And if you see all those numbers and letters, that's the token that you would have to receive to be able to have that authorization. So that's the proof of lives. Okay, let's go here. So what did I learn? I'll just read this out to just buy some time. One thing you learn and challenge you overcame. I learned an incredible amount through this project, not to mention throughout the entire intensive 4 cohorts. I don't even know how to pronounce that, sorry. While I'm more comfortable designing and working on the front end, tackling both front end and back end simultaneously was a significant challenge, like breaking my head open and losing all my hair challenge. Especially as this was my first time extensively building backend data and uploading images to an external database using Postman, Render, Cloudinary, and MongoDB. The main challenge was connecting the backend to the front end and debugging numerous errors. Surprisingly, the smallest errors like syntax mistakes were the most difficult to debug, as they became harder to spot after hours of staring at the screen. One of the key lessons I learned was to stay calm amidst the coding and debugging process, step away when needed, and return with a fresh perspective. Additionally, I developed better problem-solving strategies, such as breaking down complex issues into smaller ones, which I have became really easy with console logging everything around so that I could find the problem. And finding the manageable parts, as I have written here, which improved my efficiency. This experience has reinforced the importance of patience and adaptability in software development, and I look forward to applying these lessons in future projects. Not to mention learning a lot more, because I just honestly feel like this is just tip of the iceberg. And so, okay, before we get to questions, I want to get to demo my project, which is, oh, let's see. I thought I had this ready. All right. It's just a little harder with all the Zoom widgets everywhere. Okay. So this is my site, which also just shows, this is the splash page, which shows that I'm just like really into design, just creative. And I also have in my footer, which wasn't required, but I have some hyperlinks here that take you to my GitHub, to my LinkedIn, which I don't know why is in Arabic. Maybe that's trending right now. And my photography website, which is kind of like my love child. That's like one of my favorite things to do. So yeah, so that's the splash page. Oh. And then so this is where you sign up. I've been having bugging issues, so I'm just going to oh, look at me. I'm on, this is an older Vercel from 3 days ago. So I'm going to switch over to the local host because I've been having, Vercel is very picky when deploying sites. So, and I'm still debugging that, which is the kind of ever thing. So sign up there. Okay. And then so login, this is the main sign up. This is what I've been using to go onto my page. And for some reason, my page is not reactive. So I'm open to the fact that I may have a lot of mistakes because that's been kind of my day. And that's not working. All right. That's very strange. It was working 5 seconds ago. Isn't this how it goes? Yeah, yeah, even my page that was deployed 3 days ago. I don't know. Okay, well, there's my local host right behind my back. It got onto my products page. And so these are all of the products that I have basically through Postman and Cloudinary for the images have posted onto the site. So you can see them all there, and then you can go through products by category, which it will show you the merchandise, which these are all things that have been categorized as the merchandise. And then the coffee and tea products, which are these, and they can be added to the cart. So if you go to the cart right here, which is a really cool little coffee mug that's half full, it will show that the shopping cart is there, and you can remove that from the cart. Or let's go to pastries. So in New Orleans, everyone's eating king cake right now, but I really like the French king cake, so I'll put that in the cart. So the French king cake is there. It's called the galette de roi. And then so this will take you to the checkout form. And I have two forms here, the payment information. Well, because Orfeo is an admin, his information is already set here. But the order summary will show you the total with the tax included. Shipping is free. How lucky. No international shipping though, FYI. And you can submit it. Thank you for your order. And then everything goes to the state and back to 0. And if you go back to the cart, your cart is empty. And if you want to purchase more products, you go back to the product page, go back to check out the categories. So yeah, this is basically my site. Oh, wait, I'm forgetting the features. So we can create a product, and this is a create a product form, and this is for admins. So if you add a product, French press ground coffee maker, just as an admin, you will be able to have these, this was easy. It was doing, I don't know, the backend stuff was a little bit definitely more the challenge, but the front end, all the different components. So that will go there. And so hopefully it's not bugging out. Oh, it's not there, but it's usually there. And then there's also an option to delete products. So coffee, so you want to delete that. Go back to the product page, it's still there. And I have 20 of them in stock. So I was thinking maybe it's not deleting because I have 20 of them in stock. So maybe if I deleted it 20 times, it would completely be gone. Although I'm still learning that. So yes, that's my demo. And so let me go back to the slideshow. I don't want to show you my messy desktop because it's super messy. Let's see. Preview. So the next part is, does anyone have any questions or suggestions or anything?
I'll withhold. I'll chime in when I'm ready.
Okay. Well, I actually was afraid of you because I was like, okay, he's going to give me questions that I don't know how to answer, and I will just say no comment. So you actually beat me to the chase with the no comment.
I I actually I sent a message in the chat, but I figured I'd just unmute. But how did you set up auth on this?
How did I set up auth?
Yeah.
Use auth.
Is it just like is it a custom hook you found?
Yeah, it was a hook that Robert helped us with. And it basically, that was the tricky part because I wanted to have users have access to like the basic parts of the page and not like have any authorizations. Although like it's constantly set up to ask for tokens from Postman. But yeah, it has the two different for the products updating and the create and the delete. So I can't move this around.
Oh no, you're good. I was just curious. That's awesome. I think this project looks great, and yeah, good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it.
I appreciate it. You'll be impressed by everyone else's because I feel like I still have so much more to learn. And yeah, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Hey, if there's nothing easy about developing a full stack application, you nailed it.
No, I know. And I'm really into the front end. I've decided that like definitely wholeheartedly connecting them has been one of the biggest challenges. But I'm up for a challenge even on like not even 4 full hours of sleep, But and it's been a thing that we just learned it. Well, I just learned it, how to connect the back end and the front end. I don't know, about 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it's kind of just like I feel like I'm in a UFC wrestling match with figuring it out. But thank
Okay.
you.
Well,
Oh,
good
go
job.
ahead.
I'll
Good.
ask my ceremonial question. Why did you log your security token and why did you show that to us?
Um, Probably because I'm not used to sharing my screen with people. And I
All right.
logged it because I was having so many problems debugging that I was just told log everything. But I know that like I have everything in the env file. Like if it obviously was real world site, I wouldn't log
Well,
a
my
token.
question is, why did you show it to us in a screenshot?
Well, because this is a demo.
Haha.
And this is not even a real site. These are not real products. So I
Uh, so
definitely, I definitely wouldn't show it if this
yeah,
is an actual site with
yeah,
products.
I love your project. So I got in trouble once at JP Morgan because like an API wasn't working because an authentication token was expired. Um,
Ooh,
yeah, and I got in a lot of trouble because I shared that token in an email one time, and I actually had to transfer teams because of it. It was the dumbest thing, but
wow.
I was right. I mean, the token didn't work, and I sent an email like 3 times, and no one listened to me. So I said, "Hey, here's the token. It doesn't work." And then they transferred teams, and everyone got mad at me, and I had to leave the company in a couple of months.
Oh, wow. That's really serious. No, but tokens have been an ongoing subject these last 2 weeks, because they're constantly prompting for new tokens, which I understand why. It's for security purposes.
I just my the moral of the story is just never share your security token or password or anything.
Oh, well, that's great. I know. And I also had one of my friends' addresses there, which I shouldn't have shared. But I
Well, it's all fun and
That's
games.
note to self.
Yeah.
I will never console log, but we've talked about this before, and I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, I shouldn't have done. And I probably like if I
No,
wasn't so
you're
busy.
good. You're good. It's all fun and games until you are actually like working for someone and then
No, well,
you're in
I
your
that's
six-figure job
good.
and they're like, "Why'd you do that thing?" And then you don't have an answer for it. So
Well,
it happens to everyone.
thank you for bringing it up, because this is all like imaginary school, but it's really, really valuable to hear real world experiences, even if it's an expired token, to show that you can get in trouble and let go for an expired token, you know? Because in their minds, they're thinking, well, how about if he gave a code that's not expired? It could put everyone at risk, like in New Orleans also, because the whole DMV was hacked and everyone here was like at risk of getting their complete identity stolen. And so I wonder if they accidentally showed an expired token at one point. I don't know. Sorry, I'm just kidding. All right. Cool.
One
Great.
last
Thank
question.
you
Good.
for the heads up there. I like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
one last question I have, if that's okay.
yeah, sure.
What database did you use, or is everybody using the same database? Is it just like a MySQL solution?
No, not MySQL. We're using for like Postman, MongoDB, and for like we're importing images from Cloudinary. So yeah, but we're not using that one. And
Gotcha.
I
Yeah,
haven't worked with that one
I worked
yet.
for my first job out of boot camp, Raquel, was for an e-commerce company.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I actually got the job because they asked me a question about Mongo and I was able to answer it, which was kind of cool.
Oh, well,
So
that's good to know.
yeah,
That's definitely good to know. There's just like so much to learn. Like my friend that is a programmer here is like, you need to learn Ruby on Rails. And I'm like, okay. And I was mentioning it within the first two cohorts, and then it was never talked about. So I stopped asking. I'm like, okay, never mind. So yeah. I feel like there's just so much to learn that this, like these crazy months since May 2024, just been like so much information. But thank you. I appreciate your input and your 411. That's super important to know.
Yeah, thanks. So maybe a round of applause. Thanks so much.
I wish my avatar could do a little thank you bow.
A bow. Yeah.
Everyone. All right, I'll sign out or just mute out.
And we have Trincell next here. I know Trincell has an audience here too, waiting to see her. So give her a little applause there.
Okay.
And go ahead and get started. Okay. And Raquel, go ahead and take down your screen if you don't mind. And here's Raquel's. And here's Trincell's.
I'm not telling nobody you call me by Raquel's name, man. Oh, I'm not mad at you, but that's okay. Hi, I'm Trincell. I'm happy to finally be through this process and understanding quite a bit of what I did not understand the first time go around of actually learning this process. Mine is actually the same thing as Raquel, a coffee shop that basic is what's going to happen is part of a business plan that we're working on for a restaurant right now. So I cannot put too much information out there with y'all at the moment because some of the page changes are coming that I still am working on in the background. Actually, I started working in coding in 2005 actually was my first go around in coding, where all I learned was just the basic front end when we only had Dreamweaver and type text files. Okay. My goal right now is, y'all see from here, is to start my own SaaS company, unfortunately, because I'm finding myself not wanting to divulge the applications in the lineup that are going to be built in the future. One of which is this coffee shop app, which is going to be in a play of kind of like the Taco Bell KFC thing, if you ever been to those restaurants, where it's a coffee house and a restaurant grouped into one building where you can get something to eat and you can also get a cup of coffee, and various events that's going to be hosted on that page as well. Once we get that settled as to everything that's going to take place, then we're going to go ahead and implement the rest of the design, which we're still talking and discussing about right now. Yes, it is called, you're gonna see it's gonna say steampunk, sorry, cyber cafe. It's basically a place where coders like ourselves can go sit down and actually have a cup of coffee, have a meeting with each other, camaraderie place, something like one of the places Robert mentioned in level 3 to us, that they do have those things in New Orleans, but not here in Baton Rouge. So I'm giving them an option to have one here, because then when I went to ask the cafes to be able to host the ones like the ones in New Orleans at their cafe, it became an issue. So that's part of the reason why I decided to make my own coffee house branch, which we have multiple things that are going to be taking place at that facility besides just coffee and food. The cyber cafe we can see is like a crowd type thing that we're going to be planning, where it's a conjunction thing that has a different types of concepts. And then the corporate office, once we get it open and rolling, the corporate office is downstairs, is going to have the same coffee and eatery in one place, along with meeting rooms in the building that everybody is going to be able to rent from. If they want to work from the building, they can do that as well. And they pay either a monthly or an hourly rate in order to be able to use the facilities. So that's basically one of the structures that we're working on right now. I got products that you're going to see on the page that I'm going to demonstrate with you guys shortly, that are actually mock items. Those are not actually connected to my back end, because I have to reseat that and change a few things on the back end in order for it to actually process, so that I do get the routes to process the way that I'm intending them. You won't see the admin dashboard either, because that's an actual work in progress and that's proprietary information to the company. I am not going to share that because of the fact of what's in there, but just know that it works. Yeah, you will not actually see this in this presentation as well. Future changes coming is going to be actually a well-structured, well, multi-level structure, should I say, admin dashboard that starts with the hierarchy of the vice president on down of the business to the frontline managers that manages the staff that'll be able to go ahead and access the site to actually check on messages for some of them. That's the only role that they're going to have. And those that are going to have access to be able to do tracking set of the satellite vehicles that we're going to be buying to put in place. For those that cannot make it, where we're not just in brick and mortar, we're mobile as well. And then payment processing, as well as other events and stuff like that, I've decided to do, as like we want to have parties or have a speakeasy or have a comedy night. Those type of things are going to be put in place so that we can go ahead and get that rolling. I'm sorry, I can't see y'all chat when that thing is up on the screen. So y'all talking, I'm sorry, I didn't see it. This is basically the synopsis of what it looks like at the first start of the project, where it was the basic run of everything with the products and everything in place. Now it has actually changed, where it used to be the top one where it had just the words as far as home, about, the menu and all that jazz. Is now actually changed a little bit, and it's actually going to change even more because I do need to go back and add the about in the menu and change all that around, because some of the stuff is actually getting ready to change. It's not staying the same. This is one of the plan integrations that we're trying to do, is to where the cart allows you to remove, the products page, correction my statement, allows you to remove products from the cart that you no longer want, instead of having to always go directly into the cart, take it out the cart, and then go back to where you were and continue shopping. So that's one of the things that I've been working on, trying to get that to actually remove and add itself the way that I wanted to, and then get that rolling in the right direction for them, to make the easy experience for the users, so that they're able to navigate the site without much issues and all that jazz. Prove that it actually works. The topic of the work, we did a lot of postman work, and especially me, I did a lot of testing in the background. And no, I am not crazy enough to release an off JWT token, and we already know that. So this is the reason I only use a screenshot where you can pull the product from the background to see exactly how it's set up. And then the routes that I'm setting up with the admin dashboard is basically to allow them to put in the product name, a description of the product, the price, the category. If there is anything that's not a perishable item, meaning like a mug, a t-shirt, something like that, requires a stock number, that is going to be required for the number of how many they actually have in stock, and a link to the actual product to where you can see the image of it, or a way to upload it into the dashboard, and it puts it into the website. So that's basically the different things that I have set up for everybody, where I don't have to sit there and be the trainer, which I have done in the past as a job role, be a trainer and actually train my entire staff at the restaurant on how to use Postman in order to post products. So what I've learned in this process is that you have to really be patient and learn sometimes to actually get up and go do something else other than staying at your computer screen all day. Okay. Have a complete plan of action up front. Please do not go into this and don't have a plan of action of what you want to do. I've already had the plan of action because it was a conversation being had between me and the person that's going to be launching the company. And also learning the different technologies, because that was another thing that I had to learn from experience, that learning the different technologies is important. It is important because it keeps you from having to repeatedly go backwards in time to try to figure out, okay, now what did I mess up? Among the tools that I have learned was the Mongo database, which I solely love. And AWS is now going to be our platform that we're going to be using in order to host everything for the business, including the databases, which is more streamlined for me because it's one place that I'm working in and not a bunch of different places. So this is one of the things that I say to people: if you're going to learn this, take your time and learn, take notes, write notes, use the sticky notepad. And people that I've tutored in this class, well, not in this specific class, but prior that I've tutored, know that I'm a stickler for writing notes. If you don't want to put it on a piece of paper because you're afraid you're going to lose it, put it somewhere on a sticky. Okay. Well, this is the business little, yeah, and posted exactly. Look, homegirl, you ain't lying. Look, I got them stuck all over the place right here on this desk. You shocked with a bunch of. This is the logo for the cafe. It again may not stay that same name. The name may be changing. We have not made that decision just yet, but we really do like the name because of the actual business name that's going to be in conjunction with it is actually going to be along the lines of the steampunk theme as well. So um, that's basically the presentation. Now, because I could not get it to launch on Vercel because of a bunch of error messages that I'm still working on fixing, I'm going to do my demo through here. Yes, this is an actual video in the background that you guys see that I implemented as the background on the page where you can start with a sign up if you want to. Is on the page prevalent and kind of sort of in your face a little bit for you to be able to go ahead and sign up first. That way you can get that out the way. So if you're going through the products and you got everything in the cart, you can go to checkout without having to go backwards in time, so to speak, and do setup. But if you do not click on the sign up now, you can go back. It is triggered when you're going through the checkout for you to sign up first before it lets you check out. But if you look at the page, as I was saying before, this is the products where it's still working on it at the moment to get it to do certain functions that I needed to do because this is not all of the images. I just stopped loading them because, yeah, it turned into a circus. So, and then my sign up page is the basic information for right now. The reason why I asked for address on this particular page is eventually at some point we're going to be doing the gig delivery system to be able to go ahead and ship it. And we're going to be connecting those through this app to where when they order from our website, we the delivery company is automatically notified. And then when they're notified, they come to the restaurant and pick up what's going on, what the customer asks for. It's the same thing with the Loma login page. For some reason, my button goes invisible. I'm still fixing that as well. The button goes invisible until I put my point on it. But if you click it, it's not going to go anywhere because there's no actual login set at all. And what you're going to see in the cart is a mock. It is actually not what the cart is going to be looking like, in which it just crashed again. Okay, so that means my cart is broken again, and I'm gonna have to go back and fix that again. And I probably put something in place that I didn't catch the first time. So, give me 1 second. Go back to the home page. So since our card is broken, I'll have to go fix it, which causes the login to break eventually because it's all tied into each other at the moment. But yeah, basically the cart shows you everything that you put in there from the actual products page. It gives you a complete summary of everything you picked along with the total. And it also has you, if your information, you're not logged in, your information automatically also goes in and actually put everything in place for you. Yeah. So any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So you were, by the way, I see your doggy in the background. Is it a Labrador? Looks like a lab, but I see its little
No,
head
no,
hopping.
that's Miss Phoebe Cinnamon being her usual spunky self, wants to sit in
I
my
see
lap
her
while
little
I'm
head popping up over your left shoulder. But I heard you mention steampunk. What's that
Mhm.
about?
Okay. If you know the relationship between me and the guy I've been dating, we're both rock and roll fans. Well, I'm gonna say this. I'm not just any kind of music, just a certain genre of music fan. I'm anything fan. A lot of the things that we bonded over at the time when we were dating was steampunk stuff. Okay.
Oh, cool.
And that was the reason behind the steampunk name, because I was sitting here contemplating for like 20 minutes, well, actually a couple of days, trying to figure out what to call this in the first place. And like I said, it's probably not going to stay steampunk because of the fact
Well, that's like
the
a really popular genre, especially in New Orleans, because it attracts so many like spooky vampire kind of people. But
correct.
it also is a really good market because I look at steampunk. That's the reason why I noticed it, because I'm very interested in the whole style and genre. But their sites are like, they're very just like HTML simple, and it
Hmm.
could be like really amazing. Like So here, like all the steampunk people come around Halloween for Anne Rice Ball, and they
Mhm.
spend seriously so much money on their costumes, on everything, every little aspect. They're always online, purchasing online because they don't like the sun. They want to stay home and shop and just get everything on their doorstep. So that's a great
Well,
idea.
that might be we're gonna be sticking in the steampunk name for the restaurant, well, the cafe. I'm not gonna release the name of the actual eatery because it's a completely different name from this, but it has the same. If you look at the logos, which I had to crack up laughing making this, that the logos kind of look similar to each other with the steampunk motif. Um, and not that much different, but it's an actual eatery on the side that is going to be connected to this. It's going to be two separate sites, but you can navigate to either one from one site. This was going to be happening. Um, and then with the about page, not the about page, yeah, the about page, and it's called a locations page that I'm set up with a map on it. That's actually going to tell you where the satellite trucks are. So yeah.
Very cool. I think
Mhm.
you definitely need to live in New Orleans.
Thank you, ma'am. I might consider house down there one day. One day.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, thank you for your responses.
I
Very
had a
cool.
question for you.
Huh?
How did you, great project, by the way. Um, how did you scaffold this project? And is it like in a monolith architecture or microservices architecture? Yeah, how did you scaffold it?
Right now is in a micro. It's not in a full blown architecture right now because it's stuff that's being built. And I said, like I said before, it's proprietary stuff that's being changed because it's just the basic look for class that I'm doing right now. Um, what's going to end up happening is going to become a giant project because now I have to integrate Google Maps into it. My not so friendly nemesis. In order to run the maps and the one other thing I was going to run through the maps was the location locator, to find a restaurant locator for you to find an actual site, brick and mortar site of the restaurant, not just the location of the satellite trucks. You can actually have the categories to where you can select between the two in order, if you want to sit inside, not out in the elements, you don't go to the satellite truck, you're going to come to the brick and mortar. Okay. So when you need to find out where the nearest one is, it is going to let you allow the option to basically take out the satellite trucks. So that's where the big scale is going to be coming into. That is micro at the moment because it's just the basic stuff to get the back end and the front end working together. Once those two are working together and we have the decisions made as far as the product offerings and all that jazz, then it's going to be implemented and basically become a setup, massive setup.
That's awesome. What I more so meant was, and
Mhm.
you're not familiar with the term, which is totally cool, but you'll hear it in the future, I'm sure, as you progress in your career. Microservices is just an architecture of how you would lay out an API, for example. But um, I guess more so, what's the tech stack of this project?
Meaning, what am I using with it? That's what your question?
Yeah, yeah. What'd you use for the front end? What'd
Okay.
you use for your
Well,
server logic, database, and all?
well, my server logic is using the same Express Next.js type situation where it's all hand coded with the logic for the back end. Okay. The back end is actually on the site called render.com at the moment, which is how I pulled it into this site so that the login pages work as they're supposed to. And the sign up page work as it's supposed to because it also connects to my database, which is in my back end, it's not in the front end. Also what's in the back end is the what controls the admin dashboard that I did not show you guys tonight. It controls what they're able to do with that dashboard. And it's also going to be changing shortly. The back end is going to be changing shortly to the tiered authentication method based on the person's job role, what they do have access to. So,
Awesome. Great.
mhm,
Thanks
mhm.
for the presentation.
You're welcome. Anybody else?
So Trentzel, you're opening up a real business?
if my part of my background is I actually have run businesses multiple times before getting sick and having to shut them down.
Yeah, I
Uh,
would be more open. We're all here to give you feedback and help you to be successful. There's no reason not to share details about your business strategies with us. This is not the
oh,
place to keep it secretive.
well, because it's recorded for anybody to watch, this is the reason why I'm not, because according
I'll
to the
pause it.
proprietary attorney, not to share the details. So I'm following the
Interesting.
attorney's rules. So because I'm
Unlike
following it because
me.
I don't want nobody jumping me. You understand? Okay.
Princeton, I have another question for you.
Uh-huh.
So because you're going into like a real business, and I imagine you're well aware that A, this education isn't cheap, and B, opening a business isn't cheap, and you're clearly past all of that. Yeah, maybe so the in my opinion, the knowledge you're gaining from this camp is going to be tremendously useful for your business management practices moving forward for the rest of your life. Um,
Hmm.
and a next question to ask yourself is like how ought my business to be run? And I think what I'm getting at is, there's clearly a lot of things you want to do here, maybe even
Hmm.
more so, and you'll realize this than you can entirely do and maintain by yourself. So I have a quote for you, Trensel.
What?
This comes from L7s at Google. This comes from one of my closest friends who works at Google. We talk about this kind of stuff. Software
Hmm.
without a regular maintenance model is not software because it actually just blows up. I mean, imagine like you build a website like today. Imagine like 2 years later, there's like breaking changes with one of your dependencies, and all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore. What are you going to do?
Correct.
Well, that's where your value of your education comes in, because you can take a look at this React app and say, oh, well, this package, like there's a breaking change to this package and it no longer
Hmm.
works in tandem because like I have a dependency tree here. So I'll just, go in and just update it, npm, you know. Um,
Okay.
and that's what you can do. Yeah. But like, I think one thing that you'll come into contact with is that when you try to build like 1 or 2 pages, you might very quickly realize how complex it can be to put everything together. And I might even encourage you to, if you want to pursue this, don't work alone, is what I'm saying. Find
Oh,
some,
no, 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 no.
yeah.
This is the reason why the attorney that for this part of the business that is being shown right now, I'm not advertising any of it, but I do have someone that I had met in a previous position that had taught this thing to at ITT college here. Okay. And that's who I've been working with to start the SaaS side of my company. So, and right now I know I'm not going to be working alone. I have some people in mind that I'm going to be bringing aboard that I've already spoken to. And that way we can get stuff rolling and it's not just me sitting here doing coding 12 plus hours a day. Okay. So,
Awesome. I only ask these questions because I care about your future success, Trensel, and your personal health. A big fan of
mhm.
that response. Yeah, I run my family runs a family business too, so we deal with these kinds of questions every day. 40 years,
Mhm.
run of the business. It's not easy, is it?
Say that one more time.
It's not easy, is it? So thank you. Good presentation.
No, it's not easy running a business. Trust me, I've ran 7 of them at one time, plus worked a full-time job. No, it's not easy. So, and I did have staff in place with those other 7. So, any other questions, you guys, before I shut down? And I need to kind of cough right quick, so I'm gonna mute right quick because I do need to cough.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the questions. See, I'm not muted, am I? We have next one will be Jennifer. If you're ready here.
Yeah, let me get.
And before we forget, just a clap and give a round of applause for Trincel.
All right.
Thank you.
I'm Jennifer Tarleton, soon to be graduating from CodeX Academy. My background, I went to school for graphic design. We did a lot of HTML and we were doing Flash at the time. So I think it was like 2012. So it was a really long time ago. So this is like my first coding uh in a schooling environment. I do have I do know a little bit of Python and R. So I think I want to do next is brush up on my Python and SQL, just so I can have like a better knowledge to work with backends and everything. My goal after getting out of here is to find an entry-level job and kind of work my way up and gain hands-on experience that way, if possible. My app is called Brewhaven. It's a coffee shop e-commerce. It's mainly you can log in, or you can have like, you can be a guest or you can log in. You would sign up, browse the different products and then add them to your cart and then proceed to checkout, and pretty much these this is kind of, I just did the cart and the checkout page for my wireframe. I kind of have like little cart items where you have the image and quantity and you can remove. And then right here with the cart summary, I have like the subtotals that change whenever you change your quantity in these buttons. And then when you hit checkout, it redirects you to the checkout page where you put in your personal information, address, and credit card information, and then I use the same cart item component for this one as well. So you can still kind of edit, like you can remove or add more when in the checkout page as well. And then buy now, I don't have a payment implementation right now, but that would be like a stretch goal for the future. So this is the sign up form, and then when you sign up, it'll redirect you to sign in, and then you put in your credentials and sign in. And this is just, and then after you sign in, it goes to the product page. This is just an example of my product card. You can add to the card, or you can go to like its own view product page, which is that one item. And then this is up here would be the shopping cart and the checkout right here. So it's kind of like the same, the cart items on the left, and then the order summary, and then proceed to checkout, and then this is checkout. And some of the things I did to test was Postman. I use Postman a lot. We did our backend a few weeks before, so I already did a lot of testing the backend then. And then we didn't do a cart when we did the backend, so I ended up making my own cart routes and cart model and everything in my backend and added that. So this is me just testing the cart to get all the items. Also, I logged everything a lot. This is like all the products, just to make sure how everything is coming in as far as like the structure, like the data structure or formatted. And then this, I used MongoDB for the database, so I would go on there a ton just to make sure everything is going right, and my images are uploaded correctly and everything. So that's what I use to test. And then the biggest challenge, I guess, for this would be the backend, like connecting the backend and making sure everything matches as far as like when you render it to the page, you're referencing the right variables and the names and everything, and making sure. I did have an issue. We didn't do the cores when we did our backend, so I ended up having to go into my backend and install that and then use it on my server page to make it work. And then for testing, I took the middleware off middleware out, so I could just do it instead of having to use tokens and all that. It made it a lot easier when we did that. And then once I got the sign in and all that working, I put the auth back, so to make sure everything else worked. And the cart was really tricky, just figuring out because it was kind of like from scratch, and then having to remember how we did everything else with the roots and stuff in the back end. So that was a little tricky, but I got it. And that is it for my slides. I guess I can, oops, sorry. So this is the main page. Even if you're not signed in, you can go to the products page and add stuff. And then if you're not signed in, when you add things to your cart, it goes to the local storage. But I can just sign in with a regular person. I don't know. I think that's a user, not an admin. So kind of takes, ooh, it actually went fast. And so now you're on the products page. I don't think I have anything in their cart right now. So you can add to cart. And then it updates over here. To another one.
I shouldn't interrupt, but you have a view product. Did you do the view product by ID?
Yeah.
Awesome. Woohoo!
Yeah. It's okay.
I didn't get to that, so it's really good to see.
Well, like when we were doing the front end, that was one of the required pages. And I'm like, so where am I gonna navigate to this? So I just put it on my product card. I don't see a real use for it, but because I don't really have a lot of detail. I guess like with Amazon and stuff, when it's totally like they have all these different things on.
Yeah, they have the reviews and
Right.
everything.
Right.
But it's a good lesson. I wish, like, that was my regret. Like, I really wish that I had gotten to that. I did get to the categories, but it's so awesome to see that you got to that. Girl, you did it.
You. I think I have like I was using with my admins, I was because I have like admin functions, so this is just me like creating and updating when I was testing it. So some of them, but yeah, the categories work. AI generated some of them. So we can go to the cart, and these are the cart item, its own little components. Please work. Yay. I was having issues with this earlier. It was like changing both of them. I think I had something wrong with that. And then they update over here, and you can remove. And then when you click this, we go to the checkout, and then you can still edit or whatever over here. And then you can put, I use the Daisy UI alert for this instead of like a regular alert, I guess. So I don't know if I want to change that or not, but then you hit buy now, and then it gives you the alert, and then it clears the form and clears your cart. I haven't implemented the steps. I was thinking about it. I just thought it kind of looked cool on the Daisy UI because I was just kind of took a deep dive into Daisy UI and tried to just make it a little easier with the design part instead of racking my brain of how I wanted everything to go. I also have a log out, so it clears if you're a guest, if you're a guest, you wouldn't have a log out, but it does that. And I think I have my admin. Oh, that's not right. I think this is it. I hope I remember it. It might not be it. It's probably the wrong password. Correct. I think it's. Please be right. Okay. And then up here, the nav bar changes to So the admin functions is pretty much the same as the products, but instead of add to cart or view product, you have delete product or edit. And then you can create a product. And then I can probably see, yeah, delete a product. I think I have to refresh because I forgot that was one of my, but yeah, there we go. I forgot to fix that. When you click on edit, it's pretty much the same as the other one, but it has the ID from MongoDB, and then it'll edit that one. But I could probably go to create and do another test one. Just to be able to edit it to show that I can edit. And then, oopsies. I had it all. Oh. Okay, and then admin functions, and it should be there. Yep.
I have a question. How are you able to add, because with Postman, they like uploading an image won't appear unless you have like a Cloudinary or something. How are you able to
Oh,
upload an image with your created product?
I use form data instead of let's see, where am I going? Admin, I think.
Yeah.
Create. Okay. Yeah, right here. Instead of how we had it, I forgot how we had it. I think it was just an object, right? Was the body, you know? So I used form data for it because that's how we were doing it with the upload.
But the
It-
for the form data, you just have it up until stock, but then you had
Oh, the browse
you defined image file.
right here. If you put it as input type file, that little browser button
All
will
right.
be the input instead of a text box.
Cool.
If
That
that
was like the thing that I was really wondering about. And Robert told me that you were able to upload, because I was only able to upload data and no images. And he's like, Jennifer got it. And I'm like, okay.
And also, that was another thing I had to do with my backend. I had to add the Cloudinary stuff. And what I did was I really like looked at Roberts and kind of I mean, I went on Cloudinary, made an account, and got all my like secret stuff. And
All
then
your secret stuff.
my secrets, I got all my secrets. So these are mine. And then I kind of like took off of what his backend was.
Cool.
And but yeah, I had to go into my backend and redo it to make sure, like, you can't just add the form data on your front end and it would work. Like, you have to have like it set up to upload images in your backend as well. So it took a lot of figuring out
Yeah.
and
Awesome.
everything.
Awesome.
Thank you. And then, but yeah, and then you go to edit. I mean, I don't have to do it if you want, like, but yeah, if you put the input type as a file, this is where this comes from. But that's about it, unless y'all want me to edit this, but it's pretty much the same. If anybody has any questions. I think I'm done.
Yeah, this looks great again, as well as everyone else's has so far. So props.
Thank you.
I guess I would start with I was just curious if you guys have all been using the same like UI library, or like what have you all been using to style your UI?
Oh, I think a lot of us have been using, I think Daisy UI was part of the requirements. But I have a mixture of Daisy and Tailwind, which is pretty much, the same thing. All the free stuff basically is what I think this is like a Daisy UI
Same here.
figure. Yeah, yeah.
And Iconify for
Iconify, yes. Yeah.
sure.
Iconify I got for my, and then I got I used the fave icon for my, actually I used that at first, but then I just put the same logo that I have down here into that file and it changes it for the fave icon. And yeah, I got this logo from Iconify. This is a Daisy UI header and footer. It's pretty much all Daisy UI.
That's super cool. I really enjoy Tailwind, and Daisy UI is cool. I like the way that you can use theming with they have a way you can theme their UI.
Yeah.
And I had one other question for you. What kind of access control are you using? I noticed you said that you have admin access.
Oh, yeah. That was with I are you talking about like auth, like in my backend?
For authorization, are you using like role-based or?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, in my backend it's see right now I don't have it to where you can make users like on the front end. So I would just make a user, or I could go to my Mongo DB, and edit whoever to be an admin, Oh, I'm giving away passwords. But you could come in here and edit
Big mistake. Big mistake, you're fired.
right? I shouldn't have clicked on that. But
I'm hacking
That's
into
not
your
an issue
mainframe
with
right
you
now.
giving away the password. That's an issue with the way passwords are stored. Just saying. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm
Just
sorry.
engineering stuff 101. No. You're doing perfect.
well, like I didn't do what I was planning on doing, like the auth O and everything, auth 0, but I kind of ran out of time whenever I was doing my admin functions and everything. But that would be a different way. But
Yeah, you'll find a lot of even enterprise level companies will use a mixture of their own auth with third-party auth, just because it's never really a great idea to roll out your own auth. But like you said, using something like auth 0 could be cool, even in combination with your own auth. The
mhm,
important thing is to really dice up. At the end of the day, you're just dicing up passwords. So you're never actually storing anyone's password in your database.
mhm, gotcha. But yeah, as far as the roles, I would add them in Postman or MongoDB, just edit them so I can have them. And then my tokens are like 7 day and I have them to expire in 7 days, so I didn't have to like go back and get a new token or constantly have to sign in. Like it was aggravating me. So I just set it for 7 days for my JWT token. So
Yeah, this is super cool. And at the beginning, you said you're planning to make this a career if possible. And I just wanted to say it's totally possible. Like I took this same boot camp. So I mean, and I've been professionally programming for a couple years now, just purely from this boot camp's uh, education. So it's totally possible.
yeah, thank you. That's encouraging because it's just like the job market out there right now is very discouraging, and everybody, you look at jobs recently and it's like you need 80 years experience and a master's in computer science or whatever. I mean, that's a little exaggeration, but it's how it feels sometimes when you looking up for jobs.
Yeah,
But
I know what you mean. It could be super discouraging, but
Especially in Louisiana.
mhm.
yeah,
Like,
Jennifer, I would like to give you some advice. to piggyback off of the awesome things Jacob have said. So it's
Thank
not your qualifications are not really what's gonna propel you forward in really any job market. It's actually your attitude.
Hmm.
And you know, I don't want to give you the wrong sensation, but so far you're showing the right attitude is kind of the problem here, right? You're showing the right attitude, right? So yeah, I mean, you know, the road is hard. You know, if your goal is to be, you know, is to be in the software engineering field, you know, break that 6-figure barrier, like
Yeah.
I imagine Jacob's also done. Then like, you know, what's going to define your journey in that between now and then is continued hard work, determination, honesty, compassion, diligence. These are actually the things that are the most important in life, and you'll discover 5 years from now that I'm right. So
Well, yeah. I thank you. Hmm. I've I know I want to learn everything, and there's just like millions and millions and millions of different things to learn, and it's going to be a lifelong journey, which is I'm cool with, but
well, it'll
I
be
just
exciting. It'll be exciting until it's the point when it's not, and that's when you know that you've accomplished your goals. Because
hmm
there's a limit to what you can do with a career, Jennifer. I assure you. There's
hmm
only so much you can do while you're working for somebody else. Um,
hmm
if you get to a point like I have, where you're questioning why you're working for someone else and putting as much effort as you have, that means that you've accomplished your goal. And then there's a new dream and there's a new path. So always be present in the moment.
Well, I have a question for A. Barstow. How about if you want to work for yourself?
It's extremely hard. I've done it before. I made 1/10 of the income when I was working for myself as I make now, literally 1/10.
Well,
Uh,
completely. We're not talking about money. We're talking about like working for yourself, and that's it.
yeah, no, I
Because of
mean,
course, working for other people, there's so many like different structures and rules.
there's so much to unpack in that question, right? I mean, there's so much more to life than your income. I've
Yeah.
had to learn this the hard way, Raquel. I've had to learn this the hard way, and if y'all are dedicated, hardworking people, you'll learn it the hard way too. So um, is
Well,
it,
And Andrew, let me chime in real quick as well. I would
awesome.
I would
Hi,
say,
Anthony. Thank you for
hey
coming
everyone.
in. Appreciate
Um,
it.
it's and I totally agree with what Andrew has stated. And you know, to your question, Raquel, there is a lot of rules and regulations and things of that nature as it relates to, you know, working for an organization. But those rules and regulations, though they may be different, you will find that there are some when you're working for yourself as well. Um, you're always going to, even if you're self-employed, there's going to be someone or some entity that you're going to have to report to, you know, in some capacity, you know. So what Andrew stated with regards to, you know, your attitude and things of that nature, that is super important, right? It's super important because if you're working for yourself, you're gonna have, hopefully, you're gonna have clients of some sort, and how you interact, you know, with those clients is going to really determine your altitude as well. You know, so you can't get away from it. Those, you know, those interactions with people, if you will, in some capacity.
What Anthony said.
thank you, Anthony.
that
Awesome.
was great.
So much. That's amazing.
Yeah, I just want to say one more thing, Jennifer. If there was like a 101 course to like nailing all the pieces, that's exactly what you did in this presentation. You
Oh,
just
thank
kind of
you.
like put together a little example of every little 101 like learning block and demoed it today.
Oh, thank you. I was so nervous.
Yeah, great job.
Thank you. You're muted, Robert.
So, all right. We've got Laquanda. I just wanted to throw it to Laquanda now.
Thank
Okay.
you, everybody.
Okay.
Give me a second. Okay. Okay, so this is my CodeX level 4 capstone. Hi, my name is Laquanda, and I'm a proud full stack developer with a background in culinary arts. My journey into tech began with Codex Academy, where I built a strong foundation in front end and back end development. Although I started with no prior experience, my curiosity for creativity and problem solving led me to explore the world of coding, and I've been hooked ever since. Looking ahead, I'm eager to gain hands-on experience into the tech industry while continuing to deepen my knowledge. I plan to refine my skills by studying UI, UX design, and diving into Python to extend my capabilities. For my next project, I'm excited to create a blog where I can document my learning journey, share insights, and explore new concepts in both development and design. So my project is called Jazzed Up Coffee, where every cup hits the right note. Okay, many coffee shops websites lack a seamless integration system that handles both customer interactions and backend management efficiently. Business owners struggle with managing inventory, tracking orders, and updating products with a streamlined admin panel. Customers, on the other hand, often face clunky ordering systems and limited account features and security concerns with authentication. Jazzed Up Coffee isn't just a front-end experience, it's powered by robust back-end infrastructure designed to handle authentication, admin management, and product updates efficiently. Key features include authentication and user management, admin dashboard, seamless front-end and back-end integration, scalable architecture. I didn't create a wireframe for this project, but I created one for things I plan to implement in the future, mainly focusing on the admin side of things, mainly streamlining the admin panel where you focus on organizing it for the business side of things of handling products, orders, customers, and manage reviews and deal with settings overall on the website. Okay. And this is my project, Dressed Up Coffee. On the home page, I kept it pretty simple with a hero section and a call to action. And the main thing that I want to highlight on this page is the nav bar. When you're a guest user, you will see a simple nav bar with just the home products and about page. And you also have theme toggling for dark mode if you prefer that, and cart features. But if you sign in, you can also sign up if you don't have an account this way, or you can just log in clicking this. And I'm going to log in as an admin user just to speed it up a bit. The back end's a little slow, so give me a second.
It's gotta wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine does that too. It freaks me out every time.
Okay. So I'm gonna go back to the home page. Give me a second. So we can focus on the nav bar. So the difference with regular users or authenticated users, they will only see what I showed before, where they would see the home, products, and about pages right here. But if I refresh, the admin pages will have an additional thing added to the menu where they can manage products and create products. And also when a user is authenticated, they will have a second drop down where they can view their account. The account page is pretty much a static page that I created for the future things I want to implement, like order history and account settings. And like I said, I have dark mode if that's what you prefer, if you want to use that design. And let's go to the about page. The about page is also a static page where it basically covers the cafe's story, their values, and a fake team in a way to get in touch and get contact. So with the admin, the special thing, well, let's go to the first one with the regular products where you even authenticated users would be able to see. On the products page, I basically have a simple cart layout where you can add to cart and you can also view item, and it will send you to the individual item of that page. And it also contains filter breadcrumbs if you just want to check out beverages, pastries, or merchandise. And then all will filter all of them. And I also included pagination to go through each page for the products. Okay. One of the other key features on the nav bar I have is when you add a product, I have a cart preview that shows how many items you have in the price. So I can add another product right here, show, and you can go to view the cart, and it will send you to the cart where you can also add to the quantity, or you can just completely remove the product entirely. On the admin side of things, when you go to manage products, it's similar to the products page, but it has additional features of deleting a product or editing it. So, see, let's delete this one. Okay. So this one, I don't have it set so that it automatically refreshes or it shows it deleted. And I still have to work on that. And to edit a product, you simply I have it set where you don't have to fully type anything. It will basically have everything and you can just edit from that. So I can say coffee mug, leave everything is, and I don't have to add an image, I already have one. So I can just say edit product. Okay, and when I go back to that, it updates the name. And also on the admin section, there's a create product. And you can create a new product. Choose a file. And I have it set where it shows the alerts if case of error occurs. It shows the Daisy UI alert. And then if we go through here, Let's just go to pastries. It'd be easy to find. Yep, and it's right here. See else. Okay. And let's go back to the presentation. So here are some of the tests that I did for the backend. This one mostly, I know it's smaller, so you probably can't see. This one mostly focused on the filtering side of things, sorting by category or order or price. And for the front end, I use Storybook to test designs such as the cart preview that I showed before. And I just realized I forgot to demo the cart, the summary. I would do that after this. Okay. Okay. One of the biggest takeaways from this project was building my own backend slash API and successfully integrating it with the front end. This involved designing a structured backend that supports authentication, product management, and user interactions. One of the biggest challenges I faced was going back and troubleshooting errors with the back end. Like I think Jen mentioned, we didn't have cores set up on the back end, so I had to go back and set that up. And we was using Malter, I want to say, for the image. So I had to go back and instead of Malter, switch it to Cloudinary. And on the front end of side, I'm a person who get caught up in the details. I like to think ahead and plan, and it causes me to be a bit of a perfectionist, especially if I don't like the way something is appearing, especially the way I visualize it. So I can get stuck into little details, such as slogans and everything being cohesive and matching correctly. So I had to learn to time box myself to continue making progress over getting caught up in the details. Okay, so let me quickly demo the checkout page. Okay, cart. And then when you view cart, you can go to checkout. And I used, I believe, reduce to basically handle prices and to handle quantity and taxes and whatnot. This checkout is not linked to any paywalls or anything, so I just kept it simple with like an alert. So it would pop up, thank you for your for whoever posted it. And I didn't add a feature to refresh this, which I have to go back and do. And one concept that that I learned was use context because because I'm using the cart in 3 different places in my checkout page, in my nav bar cart preview, and in the cart page itself. I had to use cart management. I had to use context to manage all of the state. How can I say this? Um, basically. I basically had to use context that allowed state sharing amongst multiple components to keep it from overriding each other. So that's my presentation. Is there any questions?
Once again, another beautiful project, and yeah, this is great. You've got. I'll steal what Andrew said earlier. I think this nails all the 101 points of exactly what you'd want to see in a CRUD application, and yeah, I think you nailed it. And my first question for you was, I really liked the way you handled paginating with a little loading icon in between. How did you implement pagination?
Oh, basically what I did was for the pagination, let me go back. Am I still sharing my screen? I think I am. Let's see. I have my code up actually. I had trouble with page. I was fighting it. I was I was fighting with that till last night. Where is it? Where I put it? Okay, index. Index. Oh, where is? I think I end up putting it in a hook. I want to say, where is it? My use fetch hook. Yeah. So, we ended up creating a custom hook. And basically, when I fetch the products, because it's already paginated on the back end. So basically, I had to add these to the custom hook, and basically, I guess you would call it prop drilling to into my products page. So basically, I have this paginated URL, and the way on Postman, it would have to be like page. We have page 1, page 2, and limit and stuff. So I added that to my fetch hook. So when I got it from the back end, it matched along with that. And then when you go to my index page, I end up having to use like set pages.
That's great.
And
How'd you handle the back end for pagination?
okay, let's see.
My cat also wants to know.
Okay, gotcha. Back in
Fair. Yeah, you can't disappoint the cat.
Ah, no,
products. Okay, exit off this pagination. It's right here. We use sort and limit.
yeah. How did you store the data though?
Oh, store the data.
Yeah,
You
I
talk.
see your query language. That's very helpful. Yeah, but I'm just wondering how you set this up in the back end? Sorry, I have a guitar back there.
Oh, you're talking about with the MongoDB and that
Yeah.
way? Yeah. Yeah, we basically set everything up with MongoDB and it
Yeah.
was MongoDB and Express. We was using Malta, but we switched to Cloudinary and stuff. Let's see, is it in Mongoose as well?
Yeah, I was just wondering. I was just trying to like drill down, find out how much you know about pagination because it's that's a rather complex topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, your query language obfuscated some of the complexity away. And I don't just use
Yeah.
big words for the sake of using big words. I like actually mean what I
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happens when you do pagination is you send a page token to the server. Uh,
Mhm.
and essentially, a pagination is one of the only examples of a stateful connection to a server that you should really ever have.
Okay.
So every time you send a new request, you have the current page token and like a limit, and then the server will send you like the next page marker.
Oh,
You just have constant sync, so that way the server doesn't like query 50 pages when you go from page 4 to 5. So
yeah.
pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
I was
Because
just wondering if you'd handled that token at all, if you were tracking that, if you had to set that up in Mongo, because that would be a little impressive.
no, I basically was like to get it to, I was having trouble with it working on the front end. So I just ended up using state, like right here, like handle next page, because I noticed on the back end to like get it to move, you just like had to change the page
Yeah,
to like one. So
everything you did on the front end there is just textbook like the right answer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I would say too, Laquanda, is that I really like your verbiage, and that's a huge thing. Is that and not to say the people before you who presented didn't use great verbiage as well. But I've noticed you have used correct verbiage for a lot of things. Like you mentioned using the context API to share state amongst multiple components, and you talked about prop drilling. And I think these are really important things to be able to uh, not only fit in where you are going to wind up working, but to really let people know that you know what you're talking about and you can technically speak about the project you're working on. And that's a huge, that's an important factor. And it is something to always be aware of, is the way you're talking about the things you're working on. And yeah, I think you've done a great job.
Thank you.
I agree. I think you've done a great job.
Thanks.
Well, Quanda, I would agree as well. I would also say that your tone really kept me, and your just the way you presented. You were systematic in how you presented all of the information as well, and it kept me. For someone that I'm not a coder by any imagination, but I was following you. I was following you.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Anthony, are you setting these guys up to start a Java startup in 2026?
Wait, hold on. What was that?
Are you just setting all these guys up just to like start a Java startup in 2026? Is that just like a conspiracy?
Hey, we already got that going. You didn't know?
Oh, sorry, I missed the email.
No,
I forgot. We're not supposed to talk about that. Yeah, no one talks about Fight Club. Oh, my bad. My bad. That was supposed to be a
All
secret.
right. Super.
Andrew, it's been about 8 months, and you just as I remember, brother.
I feel different.
No, man, no. Only different thing I heard you jumped ship.
Yeah, I did. I was
Yeah.
so what happened? So Meta jumped ship actually. They pulled out of Austin, Texas, and I was really upset. I'm like, are you kidding? That was the whole point, you guys. What nonsense is this? You know, they had like a $1.4 billion lawsuit or settlement. Sorry, 1.4 billion-dollar settlement. So they had to pay to the state of Texas, and then they just like left all their offices. It's like, come on,
Yeah.
the one year where I get in, you guys, you're just gone. So yeah, then Amazon that was like breathing down my neck. You know,
Right.
they're like they're like an overattached ex-girlfriend. You know, they're just always like, hey, when are you gonna come back to me? You know, so one day I was just like, hey, you know what? I'm coming back to you. Like you got a job for me at home. Like I want to go see my family. I don't want to live here, Silicon Valley. I hate this place.
Yeah. I was
Hate
talking with
California.
Alex,
I
and
hated
she
living
shared
there.
such with me. It's cool.
Yeah,
Good to
I
see
kind of
you.
had to, you know, I wasn't gonna live my life, you know, in Silicon Valley. That's just not fun for anybody. I don't think anyone would blame me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great job. Um, we do have Ace here, and Ace, I know she's working, are you working the Super Bowl? So she
Yeah,
was able to get away from working the Super Bowl.
Mm.
I've been working downtown doing gigs and stuff, so I've been ripping and running all week so far. Let's see. Oh, why is it not letting me share my screen? What the heck?
While Ace is trying to share her screen, you brought up the Super Bowl there, Robert. My cousin is there at the Super Bowl. He's been there since Monday. He's a master's. He's in his master's program at this it's called Cumberland University here in Tennessee,
Oh,
and
nice.
he was one of 12 individuals that was selected to go and work the Super Bowl from his sports management program. So he's pretty stoked. He's been there, like I said, since Monday, man, and just getting that real world experience at the highest level. So it's pretty cool.
That is actually really awesome. Okay, I think we've got somewhere, and we press the button. All right, I think we're good. So, this is my capstone level 4 presentation. My name is Ace. I am a creative based in New Orleans. I have a background in a lot of things. I have my bachelor's in psychology. I've done ABA where I've worked with like autistic kids for a while. I've worked in the film space. I do random creative projects, and right now my 9 to 5 is in legal admin. So right now I'm trying to transition into the tech industry and find a way to kind of incorporate all of my interests because there are a lot of them. But I have common themes, which is more so about wellness and mental health. So I want to find a way to kind of incorporate everything into one. And yeah. So my website is called Inkspresso. It's a coffee shop slash bookstore. Tagline is Fuel Your Imagination. So the problem that I feel it solves is it kind of combines an online cafe experience. It gives a very cozy, earthy kind of aesthetic that also allows users to purchase books and check them out, as well as buy herbal blends, teas, and your usual cafe items. And yeah, I have some accessibility friendly aspects. It's able to be personalized and customized, and it's just your run of the mill e commerce platform. So here's some of the screenshots that I have taken from various screens of my project so far. So in the bottom we have the menu. Some things I'm still working on getting the coloring right because I've been working both locally and on my computer at work through code spaces on GitHub. So a lot of this did not translate in the same colorways that it did there on my local computer. So definitely want to go back and fix some of those. But I've added a lot of little links and pages. Some of my issues were mostly with authentication and connecting my front end and my back end. Most of them I have fixed, but I'm still having issues with connecting my front and back end to where I can have the user sign in. That's what I've been working on so far, trying to get just the general sign in so I can get to the actual CRUD operations of the page because it's there, you just cannot access it through the front end yet. So that's kind of been my main headache as of late. And I will demo some of the aspects of my website. So come to the main page, there's an order now button, it takes you to the menu. So far I only have 4 items in the menu, but you can choose how many you want to be visible. There's pagination, you can filter from beverage to food. And in the cart, once you add items, hopefully it pops up into the cart. The cart is also giving me issues. It's pulling old stuff that should have cleared. So I'm working on figuring out how to reset that upon the load. My favorite part was me implementing the API for the books. So you can essentially type in any book, and I used Google Books API, and you can just like pull anything you type in, it'll generally pop up as long as Google has it. And you can add it to cart, and it'll take you, you have to sign in order to check out. And it'll take you to a page where you can add up to 3 books before you hit a limit, and it allows you to enter your information to check those things out. And my sign in, which is still a work in progress. Then I have like the little links at the bottom for the about pages, like the terms of service, FAQs, all of that fun stuff. And I also have a theme change button in the nav bar that I was messing around with which was the first thing that I tried that got me really excited about using all of the Tailwind and Daisy UI stuff because I am a front end girl. Back end gives me headaches and anxiety, really unnecessary anxiety. So, yeah.
Is this open for questions? Are you still
Uh,
going?
yeah, I think I've rambled on enough.
Yeah, could you show us like the checkout, the cart?
Yeah. It's like for some reason the books are supposed to lay out to where it shows the title and the image, but for some reason it doesn't pull. So I'm still working on like the cart and the sign-in aspects because those have been giving me my main issues as of late.
But the interesting was the book API that you had there.
Yeah, I was happy when I finally got that working because that was giving me a little strife for a while, but I finally got it to work out well to where it looked decent enough to actually present.
I
For
I
the book.
kept for I forgot to ask anyone else, but I was asking in chat if these are responsive, and I just wanted to see if you could show me like what it would look like in mobile.
Yeah. So
Great
like
job.
if you collapse it, it kind of narrows down to like a column sort of situation. Um, so
Nice. One thing I would recommend looking into just for a better UI UX is whenever you get to a certain breakpoint, once you start to get down to where everything can't fit on your nav bar, switch to using a mobile navigation. Like, so you'd typically see something like a hamburger menu icon. You could click on,
yeah,
open a
I
menu.
that was also something that I was looking into because I actually recently got my certification in UX design through Google, and so that was one of the things that I have on my next up list, but it's further down the line because I need to get the actual functions functioning.
Nice. Yeah, nicely done.
Thank you.
So I have some thoughts about mobile design first.
Yeah.
Uh, three thoughts. One is do it, all of you, mobile first. Two is I was kind of more evaluating like what y'all's backend skills were today. And three is actually talking about it. Yeah, so the majority of traffic comes like if you like web traffic comes through mobile. So if you think about like how many websites you look at when you're on your mobile phone, compare that versus like how often you actually like pull up your computer and you go to like an actual desktop website.
Yeah.
Yeah, so web traffic is excessively mobile first, and that's why design is mobile first. So if you're in the UX space and you're designing like and you're working on any web application material, always design your content mobile first, and then you can expand out from there. I think a word we used is breakpoints on the front end, so you can use breakpoints. There's like a couple like really like industry standard ones between like we'll call it like a small size, a medium size, and a large. Small would be like a phone, medium would be like a tablet, and then large would be like a desktop. These are like defined breakpoints that like Apple's products like actually use. So it's not arbitrary, it's like actually the size of the products on the market. So like if you design mobile first, then like if you start expanding from there and then you see the desktop working, then you did it right. But like it's easy to go mobile first and then go out to the desktop, but it's really hard if you design for the desktop first and then you're like, let's see what happens when we contract this website, and you
Yeah.
expand it or you contract it down to a pickle and then nothing fits. that's a much harder problem to fix.
I have definitely had that issue before with one of
Yeah.
my earlier projects. So I ended up just kind of having to start basically over with how everything was set up.
Oh, I've had all these issues basically 100 times, not literally. So I'm just a boilerplate of wisdom. A wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to. In this case, it was 5 minutes late.
Hey, better late than never, they say.
Yeah, but it's not late because I'm a wizard.
I will, yeah, I'll second all that as well. Mobile first is super important. 100% agree.
Yeah, I was working on like an interesting. God, this is going to sound so braggy, but I was working on an interesting case when I was at Facebook, where because I was working on Ads Manager and Business Manager, which is where all the like if you run a campaign, basically you have to like set it up. It's just insane the amount of traffic that these websites get. So anyway, I was working on those, and that was like a weird, like very specific example where we had metrics that about 90% of traffic comes from the desktop. So that was a very bizarre example where we were actually designing for desktop first. But you design your product based on user data, is my point. And the vast majority of the time, you should design mobile first, unless you're working on like an admin dashboard for like a business product, then that one's probably desktop first. I mean, I don't know the last time you tried to manage your business on a cell phone, but track your employees, do all that stuff, look at your taxes, So just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, those are big screen jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, you got a lot of digital real estate to deal with.
Well,
Yeah,
great job, Ace.
yeah, I think that was all of you today. If I'm able to count.
You're
Yeah,
muted,
thanks.
Robert.
That was everybody. Yeah. And
Yeah,
we
thanks,
definitely appreciate all of you. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so I was just gonna say thanks for presenting, Ace, and everyone else. So yeah, you guys have a tremendous feat in front of you. Actually, I hate to disappoint you, but the path forward is going to be significantly harder than the path you've already walked. So, uh, you know, always study hard, put your best foot forward, and you know, you'll find out that I'm right. That's the whole problem. Yeah, so proud of all you guys.
Beautifully said.
Thank y'all for coming.
Yeah, thank you guys for being here and giving such amazing advice and feedback. I have taken a lot from this and definitely will help me on improving my current site and with my future projects. So this has been great.
Yeah, I mean, focus on what you know. Like every job I ever got, it was because of what I know, not what I did. Like I know they always told me, hey, track your Git projects and stuff. I never tracked my Git projects, but I was able to show up in an interview and they asked me technical questions and I
That
could.
makes me feel so much better because I suck at that.
Yeah, I selected that too. Yeah, but don't make it feel better yet because feel better when you have results. Until you have results, feel very, very bad every day. That's the strategy.
Yeah, pressure's on. Got it.
Yeah, because that pressure leads to results and feel very bad, but have a tremendous amount of faith and belief in the art of getting stuff done.
Absolutely.
Manifest that through hard work. It sounds so brutal, but it works every time, I'm telling you.
It is true. 100%.
Tough love gives great results.
Yeah, so as you guys are braving out on your next adventure, just seriously, and I'm not kidding, do your leak codes and read your books. You're gonna need them real bad. This is only the beginning.
Are there any particular book recommendations y'all have talked about?
I have like 20 of them on my shelf, quite a few.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I mean it just depends. The more knowledge you have. Like I started like by like learning like Node better because you can like build a full stack application with just JavaScript these days, but then I expanded onto like software architecture and then like software paradigms, and then ultimately into the grand big daddy of system architecture and design. And that one, and then also ML and machine learning, and yeah, I've at least four books on machine learning. Read them all.
All right. That means everyone go get your machine learning books and you'll be fine. Now, I would recommend though, yeah, books are great. And to really get you guys uh, a more reinforced foundation on, just how to think whenever you're working as a developer would be there's a book called The Pragmatic Programmer, and it really just kind of gives you even more of a foundation on how you should be thinking about the decisions you're making throughout throughout your day as a programmer, throughout your, life cycle as a programmer, really.
I would take that one step further. First of all of you start reading The Pragmatic Programmer. You have no excuse because now you have tons of free time. Also get this book, Cracking the Coding Interview. You take those two. If you take nothing else with you, you'll probably get your first job. I'm sorry to be that literal. It can actually be that simple, but hard work always leads to results. But just letting you guys know.
The pressure's on.
It's a pressure cooker. I remember it.
It is, yeah, and it could be discouraging, but yeah, you've got to push forward, and I appreciate you all letting me join today, and getting to watch your projects has been a great joy tonight. So thank you so much.
Yeah, me as well.
And I would
Thank you.
say, Robert, thank you for inviting me to just come and witness this. But I also want to thank both Jacob and Andrew for coming and sharing this advice and sharing feedback with with all of these new up and coming coders and software developers. It's really appreciative. For I know that you all could have been anywhere, but you all chose to come and spend this time with us. So I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. I truly do, because I understand, you know, 2 hours, however long that you all have been going at this. That's time that you're taking away, Andrew, from your cats, right? From your guitar.
But it's time I put into each and every one of you, and that's
Yeah.
the best spent time I have today.
Yes, indeed. So I appreciate it. Thanks, Jacob. Truly appreciate y'all.
Of course, y'all have a great night.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you all for presenting. And I will stop the recording here.
And may the force be with you all.
Right there.
I was waiting on that one for a long time.
Oh, goodness.